Hello, Glenn.
Hello, Joe.
How are you?
Good, thank you. I can't see you anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a side effect of recording through a camera, not through Skype.
Okay.
I've had a few technical difficulties with this stuff as late. Shall we get started? Do you want to get straight into it? Okay.
Sure,
Yep.
I guess we can go whenever we need to go, I guess.
Hopefully all of this stuff will work properly for us and, we'll get rolling with it. How's your recording at your end? She's fine?
It looks like it's okay, but I'm not feeling overly confident. Would you say that?
Okay. Well, worst case scenario, what's happening with, I've got this software on my side where it'll record your face and your sound, but it doesn't record mine, hence the reason why I've had to run through the webcam with it, because to get my face actually recorded on this. So worst case scenario, if all of my systems are actually working properly, I'll send you a copy of it from your side so that you've got your view if yours doesn't actually record properly for you.
Yeah, I'm not feeling very confident at the moment. I've been playing around with it this afternoon as well, and it's been a bit hit and miss. So
okay. So hopefully this will...
I think it's got a lot to do with operator error myself. So.
Well, I found much the same problem myself this weekend. So there was a few hours spent, calling the computer a few lovely names that I probably shouldn't repeat.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get into this. I better introduce myself to start with, because we've only really spoken over the phone. I'm the business manager for the Lyric Theatre, and I understand you're an agent representing Miss Soprano?
Yes, Sally's my client, yes.
Excellent. Can I just confirm that you're able to secure a deal today, that what is discussed here, you can actually make a final call on that deal?
Yes, I've spoken to Sally, and Sally's given me authority to make the deal today, as long as there's a deal presented that's applicable and what we're chasing. So, and I guess similarly, as the business manager, I presume that you also have the ability to make that deal today.
That's correct.
Excellent.
Excellent. Okay. I'm happy to hear that. That's fantastic. Now, Sally's been in contact with our artistic director a number of times recently regarding the lead role for our performance, yes?
For Norma, yes, that's correct. Yep.
Excellent.
Sally's got a real interest in that role, and she's, as you may or may not know, she's actually played that role before at the Lyric.
Yes, I'm aware she played it about 4 years ago.
That's correct.
Yeah, she had quite a stunning voice a few years ago. I haven't actually seen much from Sally in the last few years in terms of leading roles, though. Has she had any offers for anything like that recently, or?
Look, there are a couple of things, I guess, fires in the irons in the fire, should I say, at the moment. She has also played the secondary roles there in the Norma production as well, and some others around the place. But it is fair to say that she hasn't had a lot of lead roles just recently.
Yeah.
And obviously, the role of Norma in the opera is very attractive to her. And when she saw that Renita Rising Star, his name suddenly dropped off, I guess. Piqued her interest, and obviously she asked me to have this conversation today. So I guess from our perspective, we're interested in working obviously with the Lyric. I think this is something that could be a long-term relationship again for us. And Sally's always been a fan of what happens there at the Lyric, and she's very keen to be able to see what you guys are looking for and needing, I guess, with 3 weeks waiting until the opera opens.
Yeah, the 3-week deadline is quite an issue for us, actually. That's why we wanted to sort it out with you today. And I must say, we're really happy to hear from Sally with respect to this role. Now, you mentioned Miss Rising. Does Sally know Miss Rising Star at all, or did she just notice it on the ticket front?
No, she just noticed it on the ticket front, and she just thought, well, hang on a minute, this has been advertised for quite some time with Renita's name on it,
Yeah.
And now that seems to have dropped off, and she'd heard rumours, I guess, but nothing substantial, and thought, well, why don't I just go to the horse's mouth and ask the lyric and see what's.
Yeah, no,
You know,
that's fair enough. I can't
Yeah.
confirm anything with regards to it, but I can tell you that Miss Rising Star did pull out for personal reasons.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we are actually quite keen to fill that role so that we can get some advertising out soon. Hence the reason why I wanted to confirm whether or not you could secure the deal today.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, also something I should mention, just before we go any further with this, the conversation we're having is being recorded at the moment. Now, you're happy for that to go ahead?
Oh yes, definitely. Yep. No
Okay, fantastic. No, you just have to do those legal requirements, you know.
Yeah, no worries.
It also will help us later when we're doing paperwork. I will make sure you have a copy of this recording.
Okay, fantastic.
Fantastic. Okay. Okay, so Sally is interested in the role.
Look, she's very interested in the role, and want to be open and honest with you here as much as we can. That Sally's definitely interested in the role. She knows the role backwards, so it's not like she has to start from the beginning and work out what she has to do. She's done it before, so feels as though it's a good fit for her. She actually thinks that when she's done it previously, she was actually maybe even a bit young for the role, and because it's the high priestess role, I guess, and that Norma role, she feels though now her age is actually more suited to the role. So yes, she wants to do it, but also I think she offers a lot for you guys as well, to be able to find someone at such short notice that knows the role well and can suit the role. I guess that's the key.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Actually, my main interest on this whole one is looking after the interests of the Lyric Theatre, and it was I won't pull any punches here. It was actually her age that we were a little bit concerned with. In terms of her voice, how is Sally's voice these days? Because as I said, I've only really heard her in a secondary role for the last couple of years. We just want to make sure that if Sally is to take on this performance, that we can secure attendance and get good reviews over the whole season. So we're looking at about an 80% attendance rate to break even over the season. Can you confirm that Sally's definitely able to meet those objectives for us?
Yeah, interestingly, we've had this conversation, particularly around this, and it's key to be able to follow through with what you're saying that you can do, and certainly Sally believes, without a shadow of a doubt, that the attendance will get based on what she does will be outstanding. She has no problems at all thinking that she's going to be able to deliver what you need her to deliver. And she's got a following, and yes, it has been a little while since she's done that role, but she feels very confident that she can pull it off, certainly for the extended period that the time frames that the show is going to run for. So, very keen and very capable of doing that.
Okay, that's excellent to hear. Okay, well, let's get back down to business. About how much is Sally looking for in respect to this role?
Yeah, well, I guess from once again with Sally's perspective, we're looking for a reasonably long-term relationship here with the Lyric. So yes, we're talking about this role, but also wanting to understand what future opportunities there are, and there's some other, as I said, irons in the fire that will maybe become more eventual because of this role. So there's a few things to be taken into consideration from Sally's perspective. I think, firstly, if we can get agreement to say that you want her for the role, and we want to be there for that role, and that's a key part. So I just wanted to know if we just move salary to the side for the minute, if I can hear that you're keen to have her for the role, then that'd be a good starting point, I think.
Well, I can certainly say that we are interested in Sally for the role. Now, salary as part of this is quite important to me to make sure that I'm preserving the theatre's interests on this. As you know, that we're a non-for-profit entity. Hence the reason I need to make sure that we can secure those seats and that Sally's voice is strong enough to secure it over at the season. But we also, you know, we'd like to, when it comes to salary, stay in line with industry standards so far as salaries are concerned. It just puts us in a position where we can ensure the needs of the artist are met, but it also ensures our position in future terms so far as negotiating with other artists. So for us, the terms of Sally's contract definitely do influence whether or not we go ahead with this. But I will confirm for you that we are very interested in Sally performing the role.
Excellent, that's great. So when we talk about that salary, obviously Renata, Rising Star, was in the role. What sort of ballpark salary are we talking about for Renata to do the role?
Well, Renata was only sitting just above. We gave Renata a little bit extra to secure her in the performance. She was sitting just above our industry standard. So, but I'm looking to offer Sally about 29,500 as an opening offer there. To secure her for the position. How do you feel about that figure?
Well, look, I guess from Sally's perspective, when she did it previously, she did it for around 22,000 about 4 years ago.
And that was at the peak of her career there. She was really stellar. She had quite a following at that stage. I must admit, I found her spectacular. That's why I remember it.
That is good news, and I think this will be just as good this time. I guess from what Sally's told me, and I'm actually new into the opera scene, so what Sally's saying to me is that she thinks that salaries have probably doubled since that time. And whilst Sally's salary expectation maybe hasn't doubled, I think that she's looking for somewhere. I think we're looking somewhere around about the 35 mark, really.
Around 35.
Given that if they have doubled, and you're probably in a better position to confirm that than I have, a lead maybe taking 45,000. Understanding Sally's not the headline act that she used to be, and she appreciates that. She still thinks she's going to do a very good job. So it's not about the quality of her performance, but she understands that getting people through the door relies on, having that great following. And while she's got a good following, it's not as good as it used to be. So she was kind of thinking somewhere more like 35 would be where she'd be looking.
Well, I can see that, in fact, this could be quite an opportunity for Sally to bring her name up in standing again and get that following back, which is quite great. You're right in that salaries have increased over the last few years. However, I do recall that Sally's wage 4 years ago was well and truly above the industry standard just because her name. I mean, the woman was absolutely spectacular. However, I can consider that seems quite reasonable. Would you be willing to accept, say, 32,500 for Sally? How would you feel about that as a counter?
Look, we were really, Sally was really keen and is really keen to do the role. I think if we met halfway or around abouts, I think that we would have ourselves a deal, somewhere around 33.5.
Okay, I'm willing to accept 33.5. On the proviso, though, are we able to, say, put into the deal somewhere along the lines of seat averages for the hall? I just need to be able to secure those seating arrangements for Sally. So, say, if we find that overall there is attendance rates that are less than 80%, she'd be willing to come back down to that 32 figure.
Yes,
within
yep,
that contract.
I think that's doable, and certainly Sally's confident that we won't get down to those levels. So yep, I'm happy with that.
Okay, so we can agree that on ordinary terms, if Sally meets an 80% attendance rate throughout the season, she'll receive $33,500. However,
Yes.
if attendance rates aren't on average 80% and above through the season, she'll be willing to take $32,000 for the season. Would that be a fair deal?
That's a fair deal. Yep, I agree to those terms.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll get our team to draw up the paperwork on that and have it emailed to you. Can we make sure that this paperwork gets finalised, because I've got to get advertising out in Sally's name so we can start getting people in through the door. Would it be possible for you to have that reviewed and back to us, say, by close of business tomorrow? Would you?
Yeah, absolutely no problem.
Okay, fantastic.
I'll organise a meeting for Sally to sign first thing in the morning, and we'll have it to you by lunchtime.
Oh, that would be absolutely fantastic, because the moment I get those papers through, it means we can start rolling on the press, and Sally's our starring girl.
Excellent.
Listen,
win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for taking this call so late in the evening too. I'll have the girls draw those up tonight. It's just a matter of filling in those dots, and we'll have that email to you this evening.
Fantastic. Thanks very much for your time, and Sally's really looking forward to it.
That's great, Glenn. You have a great night, hey?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.